Good evening. Today I'm going to be doing a video for all the people that keep asking me when the car is going to be done, how much further have I got to go, what's next, all those questions. Today this video is for you. This was my latest progress. So that's basically just rubberized paint. You can see it's coated. That'll basically be the entire underbody of the car as well. It's just a long, slow process. But what I've done is I come up with basically a list to get everybody to follow along. This guy. So I'm gonna put this up real quick and we'll go through it. All right, so as you can see, I'm calling this the Reptar Revival. And I've basically broken this down into 10, call it major items. The long block. So what have I got left? It's these 10 items. And they are broken down into long block, gearbox, differentials, front and rear, rust repair, subframes, front and rear, turbo plus the hot side, drive-by-wire plus the cold side, the intercooler, ECU plus sensors and harness, and then brakes, wheels, and tires. So those are the 10 major pieces that still need to happen. What I've done is broken that down on the right side into just something that I can kind of help explain what I mean by all this. So number one, obviously the long block RB 3.2 liter, the bottom end and the head will be built by CRD. So there's not too much to talk about there until we get those two items going. As you guys know, the bottom end is already with CRD. It's just kind of been put on hold until I get the rest of the car ready to accept an engine. The next one is the gearbox. So gearbox selection obviously would be next because you can't have, built engine with a bunch of power pushing a stock gearbox. It'll grenade. So I've narrowed my choices down to an OS88, PAR 1-5 synchro gearbox, or a PPG 1-5 helical dog box. Both of those boxes have been proven in pretty high horsepower cars. So I know that if I do experience a failure or an issue, it can be fixed. Number 4 is the rear section chassis rail replacement. So that's our rusty friend. You already know about that one. I've got the GTST rail just here, so that'll get fixed. The second one is the Machina Magica. So that's my front and rear subframes, which, as you guys also know, that is with Tim from Machina Magica. So he's going to be finishing those off, which they're actually done. The end of this month, I'm gonna go pick them up. We'll do a quick little update video at his shop, and then I'll pick those up. We'll get this back into the car. So turbo selection and pipe work. So once the engine's back together and I guess close to being in the car, I think that's when turbo selection kind of becomes relevant. Because right now it doesn't matter. Like, it's just a massive empty space. No turbo is going to do anything for this. I've never been one to want to chase 8-second passes or anything like that. Streetability and response is something that I really would like. However, being that it's a 3.2, I don't see the point in restricting the engine to the point of I just want to chase for response. Like, it's a 3.2, it's going to make good low down torque, so I can forego having it come on full boost at 3,500 RPM and look at something that's going to come on between 4,500 and $5,000 and make power all the way to redline, because redline was 8,000 on the stock setup. I'm going to push that out probably to 9,500 on the new engine. So next one is number 6, and that is, or sorry, number 7, and that is the drive-by-wire plus intake manifold and the piping. Drive-by-wire was a choice that I'm probably really not even sold on yet. I want to keep my ITBs, and there looks like there might be a solution to let me do ITBs and drive-by-wire. So that's kind of a, we'll talk about that when we get to it thing. I kind of want to send my stock throttle bodies off to Japan to get a 49 millimeter conversion done to them. But again, we're kind of going into the future on that one. The next one is ECU selection and wiring. So ECU, another really big ticket item that I just don't really know what way I'm gonna go just yet. There's a bunch of really good ECUs out there that do a lot of great things, but selecting one is more of a, what do I need from it, not what do, I want the features to have kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, what do I want to be able to get from it? What data do I need it to be able to handle? What inputs and outputs do I need will drive what ECU I actually need. So we'll see. Ideally, I'd like something that is just simple plug and play patch harness style, and then I can patch that into the factory wiring, not too much of a custom solution, and still be able to wire in all my extra sensors that I want. So we'll see on that one. Then last on the list, I've got brakes. Brakes Y, wheels Y, and tires Y. So brakes, from the last one, you guys know I'm pretty sold on R35 brakes. The Y is big power, needs stopping power. Yes, you could go with like an Alcon or an endless brake kit, but none of them say Nissan on them. And the R35 brakes say Nissan, like it's as OEM plus as I can possibly get. And that's the whole theme for this build is, I know I can't keep the sleeper look, but I can still keep it as OEM as I can. And R35 brakes allow me to do that. So yeah, they've got like a 390 millimeter disc, big 6-piston brakes in the front, and I think they're 4-piston in the rear. So that's the why, because they're big and they say Nissan. Wheels, I think I'm gonna hold off on saying anything about, because I mean, if I'm doing R35 brakes, you already know there's a very small selection of wheels that I can actually choose from. So it's not like it's too much of a hidden game here. I've got like 6 sets of wheels that I can pick. Tires, being the fact that I'm gonna have to go in 18, I want to try and get as much of a side profile as I can. Like ideally, I'd love to do like a 50 series or a 45 series tire. It'll probably be like a Toyo R888R or some kind of tire like that. Although I really would like something that I can just leave on the car and not have to switch between rainy days and hot days or track days. And like I'd like to be able to just have an all season that's really good performing for high horsepower. I'll probably come back to this one, but there's a tire that I'm thinking of that is a factory tire on certain cars. So we'll see, could come back to that. But yeah, that's pretty much the list there. So what this will allow me to do is to come back and basically just keep checking and going, okay, well, this is what I have, we mark it off, and if anything ends up getting added, then I've got kind of a, this is what I started with list. So yeah, we'll see how much I can stick to it or not. Oh, and I did get a little something in the mail, which guys on Instagram, if you've been keeping tabs on me, you'll know exactly what I'm about to show you. my Hicus Eliminator came in. So I can actually show you. So this is the factory rear subframe, and your Hicus basically sits right above where the diff bolts go. So the diff goes that way. This will basically anchor like that, I think. Not exactly sure, but the arms make it a fixed, they make it fixed. So that way, because usually people just put a lock bar for the Hicus, I'm completely eliminated it out. So good bit of kit. Should have all the rest of the arms, all that stuff's on order. It's coming in. We're just playing the waiting game right now. So I think once I get the subframes back, it should all start kind of coming together. I know this is kind of more of a talking video more than anything, but so what I'll do is with this, I'll probably do it once every couple of months or something like that, just to update it and know where exactly I'm at. That way you see people going, where are you at? Or you even wonder yourself, where are you at? Look for this video, because this is the one that's going to explain all that for you, like a summary of sorts. But yeah, I can hear my kids in here, so I'm gonna go eat. I'll catch you guys next week.